Alright, welcome back to the Golden Gift Qualifier number 1. We got HellsRavage up here in the top side in the blue trunks as Uranos, and we're here on Oasis with his opponent today and this locked up best of 3 1-to-1 Grassengroom here. Red Trunks Chronos player today. It's been a hell of a series. Our players both snatching a game apiece so far. So being here on Oasis today, I think it could be quite a fairly formidable, quite a long game. Although in saying that, trying to hold this forward town center can always be tough if you do get pushed back early on, and the game can always snowball from there because you can really be forced off a lot of your resources. And some strange games end up sort of having players locked off with the walls going here and across here as our players sort of try and maintain control of the forward town center on one another. But that may not happen this game. We might see a fairly passive game, or we might even see quite an aggressive early game. But both our players, pretty solid, pretty formidable players, pretty close match. So I think it may go to the distance. Quite a number of herdables here, with grass already up to 13 goats. In fact, he's managed to pinch a bunch of a Hell's side over there. The Hell's is going to get a number of goats as well, but Grass is going to have a wicked fallback food eco here with those herdables. May even be able to skip husbandry, but at the same time, with that many herdables, it might also be worth getting it later on. So Grass going to have a bit of an advantage with that food eco, but otherwise, it'll be much for muchness. So we've got an Uranos versus a Chronos pick here. Both our players have that mana right behind their gold gatherer. Could be useful if we see a bit of harass with the Termers, because with a fairly similar, well basically the same early game unit composition, the same Civ, just a different major god. So probably likely to see a lot of early term harass, because trying to make use of Mamilo on a map with such a large rush distance between your players, probably not such a great idea, unless you're going to go for some sort of cheesy forward barracks strategy, which, you know, it'd probably be something better suited for a Norse player. Might be a bit uncomfortable for Atlantean, because you're effectively, you know, risking the citizen and all the resources you're putting into the forward base. So Toma Harass is probably a fairly logical way to play early on with Atlantean on a map like this, particularly into one another. Though Momilo and your myth units obviously going to be a much better tanking unit. Helms actually has all of his oracles back defensively, just in case Grass tries to go for, here we go, Valor, because he's gone for Prometheus, so he's used Valor, triple hero oracle, using his god power. He's going to try and work away at some of these outer sentry towers, in hopes that he can take them out early on, not have to worry about Hell's getting free towers on the front side of his base that he only just needs to upgrade. Potentially look at working away some of these citizens here. But Valor being used here by Hells, so he's going to get a hero citizen. Grass actually going to be able to bring buildings forward. So the beauty of Kronos is he doesn't have to actually risk buildings like, say, Oranos, Gaia, or just other gods in general when trying to go for proxies, because you can just build the building at home and actually shift it, time shift it forward, or whatever the ability is called. I can't remember what it is. I know the ability, I just can't remember the name. So you got a counter barracks and the starting temple and a military barracks, all being shifted by Grass here. But he can take out the mana now. He can really push Hells off the gold mine, because villagers can just garrison in the mana as soon as they get low here. They can be micro to take pretty reasonable fights once they've got their hero upgrade against hero oracles and against Prometheans. It's really only once you get a massive totem that it really becomes a bit of a pain in the ass to stand there and fight. So Kyra Ballista and Terma being switched up in production here for Grass, which is going to be good against the massive units, while Pure Terma for Hells is going to be good, sort of trying to hit and run, try and snipe individual units and back out, both adding some Amilo as well. So I did sort of forget that Kronos would have the ability to play this sort of aggressive forward proxy style, without having to necessarily risk it for the biscuit. You know, put the villagers, put the citizens all the way out in the opponent's middle of nowhere to try and take the fight. So Grass will be eager to try and take out this mana, but at the same time he's going to have to split up his army to do so. So Hell's looking to try and force an engagement, and he's making use of Shockwave while Grass has already been able to deconstruct, I can't remember one of the buildings, which would give the resources back to Hells, but it does cost him the build time and just the attention span too, I suppose. So a big fight going down, and the hero citizen even being used in the middle of it to try and work away at the Prometheans. But a lot of the army's fallen here for Hells, so Grass was looking to actually get that hero villager because he can block her from actually accessing the mana. Now he can snipe that, eating up some gathering time there of Hells, who's now got his villagers caught up again amongst that unit ball. So they're going to struggle to get to the town centre. Ooh, it's a nice micro, and he is able to squeeze one of them out, stacking them up with the gathering there, but she doesn't get all the way. The other one makes it to the sentry tower, but Hell's now down economically quite a bit because he's lost a couple of citizens through this, and his army size is a little smaller than the Grass's as well. But at the same time, now that the rest of the eco is pretty much safe, Grass is going to have to stack up some more units to keep the push going. Hell's, he's down but not out. I don't think he's necessarily out of the game here, but it is always tough when you lose early eco to your opponent and they're playing a rush build that sort of is preventing you from, you know, playing something more greedy than them, because then they're effectively just up on villages and, you know, could, like in this situation, up on army as well. So it's just, it's tough, and I guess you really just got to double down on trying to get out first before you worry about anything else, unless you really can afford to break some of your harassing units away without your opponent realizing it and trying to hit them at home yourself, or like Hells actually managing to run the whole army through. I was going to say you could even try and distract your opponent with your workers coming over here while you try and chip away at the buildings, although you do need a few more units than what Hells has got at the moment to try and clear this out while keeping this army busy, locked up, trying to chase other things. And the problem with that is then you're always, you know, risking other army or risking villagers to do so. And so Hells is going to want to try and find something, but the hunt, the gold mine haven't been taken yet. Grass is managing to sit right back on those herdables, and he didn't go for husbandry, but he is making use of the fact that he got all the way up to 15 goats. So he doesn't really have to worry too much about risking villages. He can stay safely here at home. It's only the wood gatherers, and some nice awareness there for Grass, who's figured out that Hells was coming to hit him back at home. The mana. May he finish it? No, I think he might lose the citizen just. Yes, he's not going to be able to finish the mana. But he should be able to clean up this force at the same time. He's having to pop Valor. And the settlement is going to be briefly... Ooh, it's not going to get destroyed, which is going to suck for Hells, because it's not going to mean that Grass has got to invest in a second one. Which is going to be a bit rough here for Hells, but at the same time, he's going to have to try and back out with what he's got. I don't think it'd cost him the full amount. I think it's just however much you've built up. I'm pretty sure it works like AOEO, where yeah, it's just based off however much is built before it's cancelled. But even still, it's scary for Hells, because other than getting that one citizen, he's not really gotten the value out of this push that he's really wanted. Because he's still having to fight, I'd say, a slight uphill battle here at home. With Grass, heavy force, and these Kyro Ballista aren't actually countered by the Terma. So the Terma are an anti-range unit, but the Kyro are an anti-infantry siege unit. So it's actually going to take using citizens like Hells is doing here to try and bring these guys down, because they got a great bonus against the Kyro Ballista. Shockwave is going to mean that they're in a lot of danger now. So that's really nice there for... Oh, nice. Great micro there from Hells. Single that one out, the one villager. The citizen's going to be fine, so Hells is going to be fine here at home. He's brought those other units back in the end. Perhaps it was just the damage he needed, because the settlement's going to be a little bit later, and Hells is ultimately going to have to tap out, because Grass has seemingly held on with the push there, and GG, Grass takes the series 2-0. No, 2-1, sorry. So, what a finish. Very tidy push there from Grass.